Hello, hello. See if this thing is working. Alright. With our last video, we managed to try out the Cavern of Despair as the Empress. So, this week we're going to start a new series. Well, this midweek we're going to start a new series. We are actually going to begin a new campaign as the Warrior class. If you haven't actually seen my Empress videos, they should be easy enough to find. I've made a playlist. Otherwise, well, let's dive right in. The Warrior has the barrier, as I mentioned, and also a feature that I like to constantly forget about is the Berserk ability. The Berserk ability pretty much does what it says on the tin. It dramatically increases your attack power while rapidly sucking up your MP. I didn't really do this very much whenever I tried Warrior in the past. There are elemental builds you can switch between. You start as Ice as a Warrior, and I believe it's the Wind one that actually focuses on gaining MP while you're in a Berserker state, so that you can actually maintain it, but it makes your barrier pitiful. I don't know what kind of Warrior will end up being, especially since you can't deal many elemental attacks to my knowledge, unlike the Empress with her arm. So I guess we're just going to see what happens. I do know that I would eventually like to wield the Greatsword, and if I end up hating it, I will probably switch to, well, back to the axe. Though, that's very unlikely as the axe has no combo attacks, and I like having a stream of attacks. Can't really hear his voice. We'll choose Type C for now. I have no idea. A name for a warrior. 8 letters. We'll just throw something in. There we go. That will do for now. Alright, contract approved. You'll get to see what's so lovely about the Warrior right off the bat. The single hit attacks without any combo attacks. Well, there is something of a combo attack. You can do the big rushy slam. Do we actually want to watch the intro again? Nah. We'll skip it this time. We'll get right into the action. Again, this is the beginning of my Empress series. The only thing you're really missing is the sick art whenever, you first get the contract, but I don't know. I guess we'll get to see that later. Have to go to the left. Nope, nothing. As usual. I don't know why I always check to the left. Sometimes you just have to look. You just have to check. Now, move onward. Slam our axe. This is it. This is the combo. Not only that, it makes missing extra annoying, but we can also do this. I always forget about that attack, too. It's it's the attack that we're supposed to use to actually create terrain advantages, like knock things over to create new passageways and such, but the reality is, it's also just a fantastic interrupter because there's such a big pause before your first swing. If you can pull off the slam attack... Oh, it actually reaches rather high, too. But anyway, I usually just use my axe to get through those. I wonder if we can actually just get through this just body checking everything, rather than actually swinging our axe. That would be amusing. I'm probably going to go with a similar build with our previous friend, the Empress. I'm probably going to mostly go Strength and Vitality to capitalize on the Warrior's base growth. Unlike the Empress, whose main thing was strength and piety, so that she could deal more damage with both her sword and claw, the warrior's thing mostly relies on this. The very cool dragon ship-looking form. Let's see. Just crushing these. The aerial attack, unlike with the Empress, also isn't that fast. Or, it's a lot faster than the ground attack, and it has, you know, some decent reach. But I hate relying on it just because it's so awkward to jump as the warrior. Also, unlike the Empress, there's no multi-attacking in the air as well. Goodbye, bridge. We'll just have to see what kind of fighting style we can actually incorporate. See, without the Empress's ability to stun with normal attacks as well, it also becomes increasingly difficult to dish out enough DPS to safely kill monsters. Shove the box. The axe does alright at this, but it's usually better to just pepper in alternating between slashing and slamming. As long as we can manage keeping up a good rhythm, we shouldn't have many problems, but we also saw how long it took to reach level 20, so we could try the alternate weapon as the Empress. So, hopefully, good lord, look at these misses. This is exactly what I feared. I don't think the air attack has much stun, actually. There's a nice cube right off the bat. No! Oops, I fell. That's alright. Oof. At least there's no fall damage in this game. We can jump to our heart's content. Alright, it also wanted me to do this. You'll recognize a bunch of these strange-looking logs from my Empress run. Oh, that was a foolish mistake. That was a trap. Hopefully I can still make it across that gap. Alternating to keep the stun is the only real way for the warrior to defend himself. And jump! We made it. Excellent. I almost destroyed this whole bridge. That would have been bad. That was a monster stake, too. It's the warrior's signature healing item. That would have been sad to miss. The Berserker state. I forget about this because it's not an attack. Wait, what is that? We'll have to check the control guide whenever we get back to the inn. Why are those lanterns so blackened? Anyway, alternating between these two. We still keep it nice and stunned so things stay away from us, and we don't lose our opening. It wants us to guard against these smasher thingies. But also, we're going up. Again. We had time to construct all of these things, but we couldn't construct weapons to defend ourselves from the Celestial Army. Alas. I doubt it would have helped much anyway, considering they have a literal god bestowing their powers on, like, every single soldier in that army, and we're just a bunch of hillbillies trying to worship a dragon. Ugh. I'm glad that works across gaps. I've done this tutorial probably 3 times as the warrior, and I always forget that it works across gaps. Wow, the body slam is far superior to breaking these. We have to remember to alternate our attacks. We have to build that into a rhythm. We have to remember to open with the slam, because if we don't open with the slam, then we won't stun. Then we can't get a free blow. It seems like our accuracy increases if the enemy is stunned as well, but that would require a lot to prove. I say as we start missing again, of course. This is where it tells you to use your items, blah blah. We have little herbs, yes, good. We're probably going to replace those with our quality herbs once we get back to town, because we share a home inventory with the Empress. Ah, yes. Yeah, this guy serves the Celestial God directly, and he's just like, well, while I don't really condone what happened to your people, I can't let you run around wielding the powers of the dragon and whatnot. Shoots the ice. Ow! That hit me. Well. See? Barrier's handy, especially when, you know, can't really dodge. what was that 210? I really have to learn how the barrier works, because apparently they've added some things to it since I've last played as the warrior. The biggest deal with the warrior is that... Okay, the Empress was actually alright at gathering her own MP because she had such an insanely high attack rate. If I wanted to shoot more fireballs, all I had to do was jump and slash something all the way back to the ground. But you only gain MP with each strike. And so it becomes a lot harder to actually gather MP as the warrior, just because our attack rate is so low. And I'm hoping that once we actually do get to the Greatsword, that will be alleviated somewhat. Quality healing or holy water only heals by 60 HP? What's the point then? Anyway, we have the felling axe now. At least you replaced your first weapon fairly quickly. Did we blow all of our money? Why do we only have 94k now? I don't remember what I did last. I do believe I was trying to upgrade something. Now, for this one, rather than keep the pluses equal, we can also try to keep the stats numerically equal. So, that's tempting to try. Keeping vitality at a 10, putting the rest into strength. We'll put both at 10 for now. But that'll be difficult to keep up with the accessory, so I might as well stick to a growth pattern. We'll just go 2 for 2 and keep them even with their pluses. We'll keep a static growth pattern and not really worry about the rest. It does make me wonder if the warrior actually has more magic resistance than the Empress. I'll have to actually check that when we get back to town, because the way that their base stats grow, it doesn't really change much as they level. So we should see evidence that my warrior will outpace her with magic resistance eventually. We'll just have to remember to see. Still after those yummy, yummy souls. I'm going to skip this as well. Many members of the Dragon Blood clan specialize in physical attacks. Ah, hello again, Plot Jesus. You know, it is oddly suspicious that he's the one who both greets us and tells us when we finally do get our audition with the king in the end. I don't think he's anything important aside from having what looks like a messenger bird, but he could just be a smelly hippie that just likes hanging out in the alleys with his bird, and that's fine. Who am I to judge your lifestyle? I'm on a perpetual quest for revenge to murder everything and destroy a nation. I mean, like, you're already contributing a lot more to society than I am, except for all the quests that I do to earn the king's favor. But you know, whatever. Must remember to equip our new axe. And we should also go back and look at... Wait, what? Are you about to tell me about the Cavern of Despair? Hold on, no more of that. Why do I have the Cavern of Despair already unlocked? Skipping the tutorials. Indeed. What? Do we actually... Do we actually keep all of the missions unlocked? That's interesting. No? Just... we can start the Cavern of Torment this early. Okay. That would be suicidal, but... that's fine. That's an option that's on the table. Why not, I guess. That actually gives me an interesting idea for our run. Like, it would be fun one day to take a character on a file where I have the Cavern of Torment unlocked and actually see if I can make them reach a high enough level just doing the Cavern of Torment over and over. That might be an interesting challenge run. I'm not going to subject you all to that. I'll do it on my own time, but I'll probably tell you how it goes if I do. For now, let's equip some quality herbs. Oh no, we have 80, or we only have 80 left. We better go and buy some more. We'll be fine for now. Better equip our new axe. We were missing a lot, so I would like some agility. I'm sorry, defense. I wonder if we have another, Hastan Anklet, indeed. Level 6. We'll put on our Hastan Anklet after this. Is there anything I have that just straight up increases strength and defense? Ogre's Bangle. Yeah, we'll stick to the Ogre's Bangle for now and see if we can't... Ogre's Bangle plus 2... Yeah, we'll be able to equip the Ogre's Bangle plus 2 once we can equip our longsword as well. Defense and Piety. Keep that agility bonus on. That should help us actually be able to hit things. Because if we start missing a whole lot, I'm going to get very frustrated. I hate statistical misses in video games a whole lot. Especially in this game, though, because, you know... Oh, look at that axe. Because, you know, you don't stun, and you just do a 1. Like, I still understand why they did it. They don't want you to be able to take on things that are over-leveled for you, but... Oh, right. This is all supposed to be the bread and butter technique of the warrior. We're supposed to be running up and doing this a whole lot. Especially since certain elements within the warrior that the warrior has available will actually make it to where this does different things, like strike higher up enemies and, you know, the wave of fire trailing off will do more damage. We'll have to actually go look at that real quick. Because I want to understand what that shield I was emitting before I actually released was when I was Berserk. Some attacks can only be used during Berserk. Dragon Smash during Berserk. Hold down. Maybe should charge slash. During Berserk, hold down. Down plus L. Damage taken from enemies are reduced while performing. Ah, that was just the dragon tackle instead of just a tackle. Increase the strength of the next attack based on how many were blocked. Oh, right, I remember this as well. If the enemy just rushes through you, it doesn't do anything, but if you actually get the little shimmery impact thing, the feedback from your shield, you actually increase in damage as well. Oh, Warcry. I think that's new. Let's take a look at that. I don't recall a Warcry. Wait, how did I... I've already forgotten everything. This is a little more complicated than the Empress. Let's see here. During Berserk, hold down and unleash a charge slash. The charge slash is just hold Y, right? Correct. Hold down and press L during Berserk. That's what was summoning the shield, if I remember correctly. Oh, hold down an egg. Okay. So we act like we're trying to deactivate our Berserk, and it actually gives us a power-up. That's a thing. No? Well, anyway. We'll master the basics of fighting first before we get into more techniques. Odd, I wonder why it didn't work. For now, we do the Ogre Fort. We'll go visit our old friend, Prince Nummington. Ah, the ogres. I am now finally almost as tall as they are. Definitely not as tall as that, though. Plenty of my meals have said the same thing. But not once has any divine punishment come my way. I always fail to see the Ogre King actually standing on the prince's shoulder. He's just up there, and he's only like 4 feet tall. He's so tiny. That's why he decided to have a giant son. Also, I can't help but view the way that they put the details on the villagers' shoes. They look like Crocs. Not that I have anything specific against Crocs. Wear what you like, but just woof. Gotta go over here so we can get the pendant and thus get the first flag quest. Now that some of you know what I'm talking about when I say flag quest. Oh, this is also... Ah, crud. At least this has a nice overhead strike. But yeah, this is a thing we can knock around with the warrior because we have a hard time jumping around. Hi. Ah, darn it. Dead. Open the chest and get the pendant. I think that's what I keep messing up sometimes whenever I try to repeat this mission and I don't get the flag. I kill the monsters and I think I get the flag directly from them, but no, everything comes from chests and exists in a key item inventory you don't get to see. Jump up here, grab that. Quality holy water. I need to figure out what that does. And if it does nothing, I need to sell it. We could also head to the left. We need some practice. We'll go get some practice. Look at how they animated all the different parts of the warrior. The arms and the legs and torso all function differently. They seem independently animated, just from the way everything shifts around, but the movement style of the warrior, they really put so much effort into illustrating all the mechanical looking parts of his body, and he looks way more mechanical than the Empress did. Of course, the Empress also had a lot of body showing, but he's supposed to be more armored, I guess. I guess it's not that important for the frontline sword slinger to have much armor, ha ha ha. Let's see, jump up here. Still, his design looks infinitely plain to me just because of how noisy it is. Like, we had the big dragon chest, and then everything else just sort of blends together. I get that they were trying to highlight certain parts by adding things like the X's to his knees and arm guards and such like that. It's supposed to create a sense of nothing's getting through this, blah blah. There are no weak points. All, you know, he's got all of his bases covered, but nothing about his design particularly stands out to me like it does with the Empress. The way her hair ornament is, her awesome freaking arm, and he just occurs to me as a normal giant buff dude in armor with an axe. And also, I will never get over the Empress's little flowing cape. That's like the coolest thing about her design. I don't care. I love it. Now that we've headed that way a bit and didn't actually get to fight that much because it was mostly flies, my point now is to build up kinesthetics, trying to get used to the axe, since I'm actually going to be committing to this style for a while. Slide that over so we can jump. Jumping off the branches. It also just looks quite insane for such a large, imposing figure to be jumping through tree branches like a ninja. Like, there are all kinds of ninja body types and such. You have the large dudes that are meant to use their fists and such for infiltration or just grab people or stop crowds from chasing the actual assassin and everything. You even have child assassins and whatnot. And I get that we're going for a sort of weird shinobi medieval demon clan vibe, a la like the Aiga ninjas, I guess, but who knows? Alright, come on. Nope, I'm still not used to the range of the axe. This is a lot harder than the Empress. Come down here. Nobody has time for this. Let's see. Come on. There we go. Getting more cubes. The ever-important cubes. Like, wow, some of these weapons get expensive with materials. As expected somewhat, but if you kill an enemy with your tackle, you just slide right through them. They're just a smear on the ground. That's incredible. And smush. I am going to be covered in so many enemy parts. Man, just that one shot from that little thing. I never remember what they're called. I never remember that these are called demon pillars either. Like, how edgy is that? Smush. I'm going to rather enjoy that, actually. I really should be charging this, but it just feels like something that should be saved for bigger opponents for some reason. I don't know. I feel like the special attack is supposed to be meant for things like that. It just doesn't occur to me as naturally to use it like it does the Empress's arm slam. The Empress's arm slam is basically like her dual wielding a small weapon and a giant weapon with a long sword, but as you've noticed, or probably noticed, I didn't even use the arm slam that much with a short sword, despite it being my favorite attack. Ah, god darn it. The Empress's arm slam will always hold a big place in my heart. These stupid flies, they're so annoying here. I understand that the warrior is supposed to be a ground-based class, but... Ooh, BLT. Ow. Also, this is a Skullbee. A Skullbee, if you will. I don't even understand what they were going for there with this. Edgy game, edgy enemies. Gotta love it. I just love so many things about the designs on this game. Where'd the thing go? I pushed a wagon down here, didn't I? Because I'll have to head back up here and see what we're actually doing. Where'd it go? It would be so much fun to stand up here while another warrior knocked on it so you could ride it down. Oh, right. Some things like that reset if they get too far off camera. Right. Guess I'm not getting that chest. See, the warrior can also destroy these big wooden spikes, as I was saying before. This is a ninja path from down here, but if you actually go up, you can destroy the spikes, blocking you from getting that chest up there. God dang it with these flies. See, I didn't even notice these things as a nuisance as my Empress. Wait, can we even get up and over there? I hadn't even thought of that. Can we slide this over somewhere and see from there? We're supposed to be using that to get up that ledge, but we're going to go over here instead. I want to see if we can actually reach that point. Because if we weren't intended to reach that point with the warrior, then that's a ninja-only area, aside from when the Empress can just jump over the obstacle. I really should try to remember to use my charge attack for those instead of trying to swat it with my axe, considering that doesn't work that well. Jump up here, and... You know, I keep saying we need to open with our body check, but I've yet to form that habit. Block this, slam, axe, eat a lemon. Smush the fly. Ah, the skull bee. I don't get it. It's supposed to be a skull bee. Like, it has a skull for a face, but its stinger looks like a guillotine. Its primary attack is running into you. Oh, here's our first ogre. I guess we get to see whether we can tackle it or not. Oh boy. Panicked. Oh, right, I really do like that. You can deflect their attacks when they slam. That was always fun. I don't know what other kind of attacks... Ow. I don't know what other kind of attacks, interact with the warrior's barrier that way. It would be nice to get some sort of HP regen on the on the warrior that isn't... Oops. I found the quick chat that isn't this. Did I seriously just not think to press the back R button the whole Empress playthrough? That's a thing. Jumping up here. Smack. Smack. We're chopping them like logs today. That's our new thing. Swinging this thing like a massive scythe. Ooh, that would be cool. I wonder if there are scythes. Scythes are lauded as some of the most impractical anime weapons you can have, aside from all those other impractical anime weapons, but I've always held a fondness in my heart for scythes in video games. I don't really care if it's practical or not. What matters to me more is how characters decide to swing them, and I've seen a lot of hit and miss. There have been some interesting fighting styles I've seen where they do things like wield a sword with a scythe for mid-range attacks and maximum long-range attacks. The scythe would theoretically be a good shaft weapon if you could actually handle the weight. But the deal is, once you swing once, you leave yourself massively vulnerable unless you have the ability to keep it rotating. The rotation of a scythe is basically what decides how effective you are with it. I suppose that's why in anime you see them whirling a lot too. Also, you have Polish war scythes, but war scythes... Our Polish war scythes are more like... The blade is still crescent and meant for wide harvesting motions, big wide swings. But the scythe blade, instead of being pointed off horizontally, it's actually pointed up and vertically, more like a spear. And I believe some of them actually have spear tips that run past them. They're very interesting weapons, but they're just more like spears that when you slash with them, they'll hook things. And, well, that's interesting, but it's not the giant anime scythes we know and love. I do wonder how you would even travel with a giant anime-style scythe. But, forgive me for my tangent. I'll focus for a moment. Well, it stops the prince. Oh, no, no. My barrier wouldn't come up. Yeah, you see, I'm not going to actually have my barrier for that long if I don't start dodging most of these attacks. Because my MP gets sucked up a lot. And it's going to be very hard to interrupt these axe swings. Oops. Come on. Oops. Nope. And it's going to be very hard to interrupt my axe swings to actually dodge these attacks. So I have to be even more careful than the short sword Empress was. There's a sense of timing to this game's combat system, which is actually really cool because it adds so much weight to your attacks, and it makes you, or it forces you to plan your every strike. Oh no. Okay, good. Let him slam and then run up under it. I'm glad I warmed up with an Empress run before I did this run, because, like, it had been about something like almost a year since I'd actually played this game before I did my Empress run for you all. I'm really glad I got to show you the Empress. She's so cool. I hope I find something really cool about the warrior that I like eventually. That's a decent attack if I can hold the charge while I dodge. Let's see. Let him slam. Come in and do a single strike and then run away, because that does decent damage too, and it hits with, or it hits in multiple parts. We just have to be aware of holding the charge while we're doing other things and dealing with the whippy chargy noise. I think this is manageable, especially if we learn how much time the charge takes, because otherwise we can time it to where we'll reach that momentum and then release it immediately, and it'll take a bit more planning to attack in advance, but... Yep, that's a Polish war scythe. Just points 90 degrees up instead of like a harvesting scythe. They're very good at sticking people and clawing off armor and holding dudes down and, like, ow. I believe I developed a fighting style with one once, simulating it with a rake. But I can't remember how it went. It wasn't one of the weapons that I just actually stuck with and mastered or anything like that. Mostly because I wanted to return to simulating a regular scythe. But I didn't master a regular scythe either, because it's very hard to... If you combine the staff movements of, say, a bow on Poe or something like that with the attack stylings of a crescent spear, then you might be able to assimilate something decent with an anime-style war scythe, but if you can't handle either, or let alone both of those styles, you may have difficulty wielding a quote-unquote anime war scythe. Oops. Ow. See, his attacks intensify because the orb's in play. I could just run into him and step on it, and that would be nice because it would give me infinite energy for my shield. Oh, he's going to step off of it now. Right as I start to kill him. And we buff. Look at this one's dragon, though. It looks like his chest piece is just so big and bulky and plated, and holy crap, did that just deal straight damage? Has the dragon orb always dealt straight damage to the boss? I've never noticed before. I know that whenever you're in multiplayer, it does something for each extra player, but I've never actually played multiplayer with this game before, so I couldn't tell you what those effects are. The light axe +2. Whoa. Okay, level 1, 95 attack power, and it gives agility. Why did I get such a good weapon? What the heck? I guess those +2 really did, or I guess the +2 really did make a difference. Easy level up. Can we do it again? Yes, excellent. 2 levels. We're going to stick to our static growth as planned. Skip the cutscenes with the ingrates. We don't care. Blah, blah, blah. Someone needs to be in need of help. I believe I know who that is. But let's equip this light axe +2, because that was quite a find for this early. My lord. That's quite strong for this early. Okay, I believe I can equip the Hastan Anklet now. It just does the same thing as the leather choker, but it increases my jump distance, which helps. The main thing we want from it is the agility, so we stop missing so much, and even a small boost in agility is significant at this level. Also, we just got 3 from the light axe, so we're back to our basic axe design, but it's a lot stronger than it was. For now, we will head... Can I actually... Nope, I can't use the lift yet. We'll actually head over here and go claim the mission where we gotta knock the fruit around. Should be a simple enough one to do. Yes, hello. The water's suddenly undrinkable, and she wants us to go and purify it. That's a... Whoops! Of course I'll help your village! I love being helpful! Accidentally using these abilities on the villagers is always a thing. I may as well go and unlock the shops while I'm thinking about it. Oh, I should have grabbed the black market while I was down there. That was a lack of foresight. I mean, I don't even know if I'll necessarily need the black market, but there should be the equivalent of the median knight's longsword for the warrior, like something of equal value to that in the blacksmith, or in the black market. So I should probably go and unlock that just so I can check it out later. Or maybe even just check the requirements. Heck, I probably have the ingredients for the first weapon, considering I've adopted the inventory of my Empress. Got Atrim's Den. And now we'll go out here without killing the guard for once. Bar is the furthest thing over, I believe. Run back over, and then we'll start doing another mission. Really should have grabbed that. That was a waste of time. It's not such a big deal. A little time loss is not such a big deal in the grand scheme of things. What are these moments but experiences that teach us to be more aware of our actions and surroundings? So, now that we've learned an important lesson in paying attention to where you are and remembering when you started a new playthrough. Oh, right, I indeed need a broad axe +3. Holy crap, this is a powerful weapon for this early. What about the second? Animal pelted beast fang? I don't understand where to get things like that. Oops, went too far. Me and Captain's Dinosaur. Where do you get the animal pelted beast fang? I wonder. I wonder if it's just things you get when you go higher level, or if I'm supposed to be... If there's a mechanic I've just completely missed, or you disassemble things. Broad axe +3. I wonder if we actually can just go ahead and grab that. That should make our run go fairly more quickly. We're going to the weapon shop. Need to upgrade a broad axe to +3. Do we have a broad axe? Was it a broad axe? Can't remember what it said now. I suffer from short-term memory loss sometimes. Sometimes I just do not retain names or words at all. The broad axe. I didn't see a broad axe. That's confusing. We'll go check one more time, and then we'll officially go and do more missions, because I want to learn how to fight as the warrior. Weapon shop. Broad axe. It is indeed the broad axe. Glide axe, filling axe. Oh, broad axe is way down here at level 20. Wow, why did you require such a far ahead weapon for it? Alright, well, since we can't do that yet. Go back to the bar, and... oh, no. Are we already getting ready to do the Sea of Tumult? Oh, we need to do Dreaming of Treasure. We'll do the Dreaming of Treasure one next. Just to knock out all these missions. I want to do at least each mission's lowest difficulty at least once as the warrior.
No, you want to go and rob the ogres? Well, they lost their keys, so you can't do that, no.
That's alright, we'll manage. Gonna go ahead and head left anyway. I believe... yeah. It's this little girl that talks about the key. Ow! Ow! Alright, we've completely lost all of our kinesthetics, and we have to start completely over. Jump over you. Boom! That was nice. That was very nice. I guess I sort of like this giant slam. I didn't know I was so inclined toward big, heavy attacks. That's nice. You made me lose my charge and almost got eaten, little girl. Ow. Well, all that agility and we still keep missing low-level enemies. We'll get there, that's fine. Yeah, the smith had a broad axe that was like level 20. I didn't expect it to be such a far ahead weapon. I was just looking at the base ones. How are we supposed to cross this? Guess we have to use the branches from further back here. It expects you to be a ninja. Go away. No, go away. And jump. Missed. Despite the overhead on this axe, it's still rather hard to hit floating enemies like that. I mean, as expected with a melee weapon, but... that looked ridiculous. It reminds me of all those scenes where you see the person use the Ido and quick draw through... oh, there's the door key. Use they quick draw their sword and they just like flow through them in one fluid motion and the enemy just falls apart, bisected and everything. Oh, that was good. Except for it's just a shoulder tackle. Disgaea 5 actually had a mechanic where you could assign people into groups. Just basically tag them to be part of a group. It otherwise did nothing significant to them. But whenever you had people tagged as a group, you could have someone enter a berserk state, and everyone that was tagged within that group would attack the same enemy at once, regardless of whether they were even deployed to the field or not. And some of their animations were just for sliding through enemies rather than wielding a weapon or whatever, so sometimes you just had a group of people shoulder tackling one person as a giant mob together, and it was incredible. Disgaea 5 has a bunch of interesting mechanics like that they really tried to... how do I put this? Disgaea has a history of being soloable with the main character, because the main character can usually be so strong. And they tried to sort of break this up, there's a cube, by forcing you to go through some maps by having someone who could pick up and throw the main character, and, you know, requiring 2 people, but most of the time you could just have someone exist long enough to throw them. And anyway, I'll show you guys Disgaea 5 one day. That will be a fun run. Maybe we'll do a participation stream. I'll make audience members into party members. It'll be fun. It'll be nice. We'll get to actually run through it together. Yes, I'm picking up a lot of cubes this run. The warrior's much luckier than my Empress. Still no dragonite. But, you know, it would be odd if we got dragonite this early. I guess. Usually we're supposed to be picking up dragonite when you reach level 20, around halfway through the game. I mean, we didn't even reach level 30 when we beat the game with our Empress. It makes me wonder how much I'll have to grind with the warrior, if at all. I'll have to memorize how much experience each stage gives, considering I'm so inexperienced with the warrior. I've never done a whole run. The cube. Nope. Oh, that would have been bad. And smush. I still love crushing enemies and passing through them. That's amazing. Makes me wonder what cool thing the ninja can do. I'm still very curious about the witch as well. From what I understand, the witch actually dashes by flying on their staff slash broom or whatever. And it makes me wonder if they actually... Oh, that's what this is for. And it makes me wonder if they actually do fly or anything like that, or have some sort of remote floating skill. Because the Oracle can only float slightly due to the feather spell, but if the witch can actually fly around and stuff, that creates all sorts of interesting opportunities. And it would make up for a complete lack of melee. I do wonder what it's like to have to rely on quick spells instead of having people to cover you while you prep your nukes. It's going to be interesting to find that out. I don't even know if I'm going to stream every character, if I'm going to actually do a series. I may eventually buy the extra characters and return later, but after I do a run with the warrior, if I don't actually try to grind up to do the Cavern of Torment as my Empress, I would like to show off a game called Watam, or Watam. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's a delightful game. It's non-violent. It's very non-violent. It's actually just literally about making friends and solving very strange puzzles and mysteries, and it's very odd. It's trippy. It is so trippy. I can't wait to show it to you all. We'll also have to do some Conan Exile so you can watch me climb all over the mountains naked for a while. I want to actually be naked, considering I played the North American version where nudity is impossible, but... Ow. Ow. So many games, so little time. But we'll get there. We'll get there together, step by step, every inch of the way. Moving forward as one and seeing what kind of adventures await us out there. It'll be fun. It'll be great. We just have to be patient and not keep missing this little eyeball creature in this vase. Take me down. Nope. Having a bit of trouble concentrating all of a sudden. It's probably because I've been rambling non-stop. Oops, there we go. It's also just so difficult to actually execute the warrior's attacks, considering, you know, he's so slow and everything. I have to think more. It doesn't feel as natural to me as the Empress, which is fine. Not every character is going to be perfectly compatible. We do not demand perfection here, only anarchy. That's why we learn. That's why we're learning together how to play the warrior and chop through the souls of the people trying to protect this fortress. Alright, raise it. Ow. Didn't say to drop it yet. I'm glad striking their knees works. Let's see. Keep on thinking there's something up there, but there's not. That's just a fact. There's just not. Jump over you. Strike. Strike. Wow. I almost thought that I actually got the axe to hit twice in a row, but there was still that pause. You swing once. Can't really see here. I'm going to actually leave the quest. I'll leave the quest before I demonstrate what I was just about to talk about. The felling axe, the fragrant brooch, the leather choker. Got a little bit of money. Easy level up. We are now level 8. Raise our strength. Forgive me for a moment, I'm going to get some water. Hydration is very important and remains so. Ah, excellent. Right. I almost thought that I got the axe to hit sequentially, but we swing once, and we have to wait for it to go all the way back up before it can swing again, almost. It almost feels like I build momentum whenever I strike like this, but it just doesn't. And then we jump and strike. Nope, I missed. Jump and strike. That explains a lot. This doesn't have the same range as my ground attacks because I don't reach out as far. It's a swipe. It's a swipe inward from shoulder to knee rather than lunging it outward. So that makes more sense. It's a bit easier to visualize. But then okay, let me think. We enter Berserk, we charge up, and we hold down. That's it. That's what I was trying to do earlier. And if you don't have the MP for it, it'll simply do the normal charge, which is this again. So I have to hold down to do that, but then okay, so if I just tap it, then it does the shoulder tackle, but if I hold the button, I'm not going to gather up that MP. If I hold the button, it will actually produce a shield, which I assume deflects attacks temporarily or raises my defense right before I strike. There's the Sea of Tumult. We'll do the Sea of Tumult later. Right now we've got some fruit to bounce around. Heck of a mess here. The village's pond water has suddenly become unsafe to drink.
There are only 3 ponds nearby that have been polluted.
That's fine. I'm not normally one for skipping cutscenes, but the individual missions don't really have much of a plot. I mean, I suppose if you were more used to playing Dungeons and Dragons and whatnot, like the more generic quests that you would do and set up to do with your party, it'd just be a thing to not require that much of a plot. You're here to swing your axe, not... But also just, if they had any sort of world building, because I have so many questions about this game, like, the music video, the intro that you unlock... Oh no. I can't get over the stump. Ah! No! Go back! Can I do it like this? Aha! Well, that was almost a disaster. Shortest run ever. I've skipped this mission as the warrior before because of that exact fear. Anyway, the intro actually reveals, like, a lot. It shows some of the characters that you meet in your quests. It shows... Specifically, there's this part where it shows the world map. And when it shows the world map, it shows these weapons pinned into each of the continents and such, and it doesn't elaborate on that at all during the main game. And also it shows the characters sort of sealed away, like the Empress is in a throne with her arms shackled, and the ninja is pinned to a table and whatnot. And they don't build on any of that. There's so much juicy stuff that I want to know about, like... Is that just the palace for the celestial king or nation or whatever in the background? Is that just the imperial castle, or... It doesn't tell you very much. It just tries to look very cool, and while that is largely enough for me, I do like things that look very cool. I want to know more about the world, but not even the villagers really tell you anything. The most we learn about their culture is that the fishermen respect a fishing god, some kind of fishing statue thing that's supposed to keep them safe at sea until, ironically, a giant sea monster eats it. And there's a trial of courage where teenagers go into this one specific ruin to die, I guess. It's always such a thing. They reveal nothing about the endemic wildlife or interesting habits of monsters, but then, you know, you see most of the habits of the monsters as you try to kill them. This is some kind of projectile-based predator that shoots its spiky seeds at you, I guess. Provided those are seeds? I don't know. It doesn't reveal the reproductive habit of the horrible spider skull things. Yes, ever the cubes. We must find all of them. Geometry is what will defeat the celestial god and gain our vengeance. Pretty much, considering how many we had to pump into the short sword during the previous run to actually get it to be worthwhile. Like, once we turned it into the poison dagger, it carried us through the rest of the game. It was fantastic. I wonder what that weapon will be for our warrior friend here. If we're even going to stick to greatswords. I really hope we like the greatswords. Let's see. I know that the greatswords have, very interesting designs. Judging by the ones the Oracle... Ow! That was dumb. Judging by the ones the Oracles wield. Please drop a poison cure. Someone. Anyone. Drop a poison cure, please. Thank you. That would have been annoying. There's the guy we rescued last time who's still ungrateful. You know, I wonder if you actually could get away with doing a super high-level version of this quest. No, you couldn't, because the final fruit's guarded by a monster, that's right. I almost thought we could just rush through this and try to do it super high level and get lots of reward money, but it was exactly the kind of exploits that the developers were so afraid of. Ah, the eternal struggle between player and developer, constantly trying to outdo one another in a constant tango. That's supposed to, you know, result in entertainment. Two naturally opposing forces. Go that way. Go. You just perch right there. That's fine. Ow. And smack. I will wait to grab that jewel. There we go. The pawns are clear. We are good to go. It looks like we only have about 3 minutes before the stream ends. We got a vitality bracelet. Go away, thing. I don't need you. Something popped up on my screen. Anyway, we got plenty of money. We're up to 102k now. We're going to level up. Just barely not. It begins. You go crazy with your first few levels, and then you just sort of stave off, and that's why it took us so many videos just to reach level 20. I am thinking about sort of power leveling a bit as the warrior, because I really do want to reach the Greatsword and go ahead and start wielding it as soon as possible. But I never know whether to subject my stream to that or not, because, you know, watching someone grind can be pretty boring. But in the end, it's more about just creation, is it not? We're just hanging out here anyway. It's not like I have to play a specific way just because people are watching either. We'll figure something out. If it turns out that it does take a while to level up, then I probably will actually go and grind a bit. Because the deal is, the Empress is not only just faster in nearly every way, the whole thing with playing for only an hour means that my overall efficiency will be affected by the warrior's low damage output. And that's not his fault. He's not built for damage. None of these characters are necessarily meant to solo except for maybe the Empress, because she's supposed to be so balanced and everything. But, you know, we'll just have to play it by ear and figure out the warrior's quirks as we go along. Once we do figure out the warrior's quirks, everything else should shape up a lot better, because just learning the different ranges and the way I swing now, and it's always like this when you learn a new character in a game. We just have to be patient. We just have to be willing to learn and do our best. I suppose for now, we'll check our inventory. I don't think we've used any healing items yet. That will change dramatically as we go on, as you've seen. I like to down my healing items, especially in this game. Need to see what weapons we're going to equip next as well, though. If we were actually going to be a tanky character and not worry about our damage output because we were paired up with someone, I would probably wield something like the Giant's Ring, just because, you know, defense and vitality. But because we do have to worry about our damage, because we do have to do 100% of the damage by ourselves, I really need to focus on making every single hit count. The deal with the warrior is that we're going for more of a DPM thing just because of how low his attack rate is. So every blow that we don't have to make to swing at an enemy is a few seconds we'll get to shave off of, you know, fighting like we do. Because we have to worry so much about leaving an enemy with such little HP and then finishing them off with our body tackle. Hopefully we can learn to incorporate a style where we tackle, then slam, and so we don't leave them with that little shred. And if we do, especially if we actually do become powerful enough to stop leaving the enemy with such little HP, then maybe we won't have so much of a problem. Because my big concern regarding those enemies are, you remember the Azura rats? Azura rats, I believe they were called. They were on the ground and they ran at you and they swing their tail and an element at you. They are going to become a very large concern, especially the paralysis ones, because they can probably outswing me, and they have further range than the Empress. And just outranging those attacks is going to be a nuisance without predicting where they are and using this to shoot off a wave at them. Provided we don't get dragonite and find a more offensive element. I really do need to go and actually look at the control tips and or control help and see. No, it's just the tips. Magic. Wait, first let's look at the warrior for the Greatsword. Warrior Greatsword is combo attacks. Single damage can compare to the axe. Match its damage output. Yes, the little things from the nest, precisely. But the warrior of the Greatsword increases DP more easily, which is good because that means we'll get to use our shield more. That'll be more convenient. And its Berserk can outpace Warcry, so we can just keep swinging if we use the Greatsword. That's good to know. Right on, right on. But where's the thing that tells us about our elements? Can charge the Dragon Tackle by holding the attack button. Release at full charge for immense damage. Berserk is low, guard range is small, smash damage is reduced. Jeez. Balanced style with powerful attacks and overall slow movement. I think this is why I need to actually get away from... Oh, yes, the smash is supposed to be the elemental attack. That was what I suspected originally. Base damage from hitting within its sweet spot. The smash is the center of his arsenal. So we are supposed to indeed be using the smash attack. High-powered dragon smash. Berserk and guard have lower performance. Activating Berserk consumes DP, but in exchange DP during generation. This is the one I was talking about. I tried to have a Wind Warrior where I tried to sustain Berserk as long as I could, but it didn't actually work out that well for me, because, I don't know, it just costs a chunk to enter Berserk, and it's, yeah. Thunder Warrior has lowered attack power, but is faster. Berserk increases attack much, but consumes little DP. Best suited for his fighting skills. I see. How does that make it suited for anti-air, I wonder? Dragon Rage lasts a long time. Dragon Guard will grant him Berserk state. I may actually end up going with a Thunder contract just because it is slightly faster, because I don't like how limited the warrior's movement feels. That's right. Eventually, we're going to have yellow stuff. It's going to look like this, but on the whole body. I do wonder why they add white and black options if they're, you know, aren't actual white and black forms you can take on, but, you know, it's whatever. Anyway, we've gone a little bit over, so I suppose that's all from me for now. Thank you all for coming. Hopefully the warrior run will be fun to witness as well, and if you know, if not, if I truly begin to suffer, then we'll either keep going and get through it together or find something better to do. We'll just have to see as we go. We'll see as we get there. For now, however, I'm tagging out. Thank you very much for joining me. It was fun having